That's the equivalent of used toilet paper right now at this situation.
Flexing is heavy. I left my money on the counter, ain't no session.
Good evening, guys. My name is Rafael Grego. If you guys came to my channel, this is my first YouTube video. In a terrible mood because my favorite team and this cat's favorite team, the Arizona Cardinals, got shit on by a 3-win team.
Look at this nigga, man!
I've been a Cardinals fan ever since I was born, unfortunately. I was born into this bullshit. You know, bad quarterback play is just our cup of tea. And underwhelming games, there's too many to count on these 10 fingers that I've been through a part of my life. And this is another one of them. You know, coming into this game, I didn't feel too great about the Patriots' performance. You know, it was kind of off, like how Kyler was not as on point as you want him to be, especially during the playoff stretch, and our defense basically carried the game, as they have for a couple weeks prior to that. I think this thing went downhill as soon as the Seahawks, the Seahawks met us the first time over there, and we shit the bed on offense. We had 6 points, and we couldn't even help out our defense who helped us out. I feel like that's where it was the beginning of the end, when I saw our offense just completely look like a JV football team for the past 4 games. And I wasn't even that excited when I watched them play against the Patriots, to be honest. You know, they just drain a bunch out of you when you watch this damn team. I'm only 21 years old. I feel like I've aged twice that in this time. This season just alone, watching this team. I went to one of those games against the Jets, and I felt we're going to the Super Bowl. How wrong am I? You know, I'm just still processing how terrible this team is. The title of the video probably will be "Why I Hate the Cardinals," and it's actually a genuine hate. I put a lot of energy into this team. I don't know why. It's probably a mental illness. And they just let you down. You know, my brother is a Jets fan. I feel better being a Jets fan than a Cardinals fan right now. I know it sounds crazy, but that's where I'm at right now, because this team, you know, it starts with your owner. We have a cheap-ass owner. We have a Goodwill version of what an owner should be. He does not want to spend money on defense. As you saw today, we let 30 points, 33 if you include the game. Oh, no, 36 points. You let a 3-win team get 36 points, and you think that's a playoff team? 36 points to Bryce Young, who had 4 turnovers against the Cowboys last week. The Cowboys of all teams. And we couldn't even touch them, really. And if we did, we got a penalty. So, and it's just the penalties. I mean, the penalties just destroyed us this whole game. I mean, honestly, the refs were the MVP tonight, because there was 11 penalties, at least 11 penalties that I've counted. And I don't want to sound biased, but at least 5 or 6 of those were bullshit. I mean, like, the one on Yellow Froho on 4th and 1 early in the game. I know it was early as fuck in the game, but still, it's important. You got to play 60 minutes, and you can't call that penalty. The defensive tackle was falling, when Yoda had a decent block on him. It was not the best block. I admit that. He got through a little bit. You could argue he was holding him with his arm, but you're not gonna hold a 300-pound lineman falling down with one arm. I mean, come on. He sold it off really good, and those refs were on some bullshit today. But you can't blame the refs for bad offense. And I know we scored 30 points, but this whole game was catch up. We were down 20-3 in the first half. 20-3 to Bryce Young. Bryce Young. I mean, it doesn't do us any better when James Conner, our whole offense basically today, goes down. And he went down early in the second half on a weird tackle. I think he might have sprained his MCL, but I'll keep looking at that. And it doesn't even matter. I would if I were him, I would just sit out for the rest of those games. But he's a dog, so he's probably gonna still play. But I wouldn't, because you saw what your team did for you. They pulled the rug from out under us. Everybody involved. Let's go back to this whole thing, this whole debacle. We won 4 games last year, and most of those games were 1-score games. This year, I feel like that our team from last year could put up a fight against this team, because there's no drive, there's no effort on big game plays. This is where I switched my shirt. I did not want to wear that horrible jersey anymore. After Kyler threw one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen. Last week he threw a pretty shitty one, but it was called off. So he got his get back this week for sure. It was about 3 minutes left in the game. We were driving. It was like 3rd and 10, and we only needed like 5 yards to get in field goal range to make it a tie game. And this motherfucker rolls out, and he has Trey McBride for a first down. Mind you, Trey McBride has about almost 100 catches this year without a touchdown, which we can debate that. And he, for the smart, intellectual quarterback he is, he decides to go for out Michael Wilson in the end zone with 3 guys around him and throws a pick.
I finished it!
That's where I just lost faith in this team for this game. I already was pretty down on them throughout this whole year. It's just how being an NFL fan is, If you're a true fan, you hate your team. But when they win, sometimes it's just the best feeling ever. But when you're getting kicked out of the playoffs, you feel like breaking something. And luckily, nothing was around me to break. Just being an Arizona Cardinals fan, or Arizona sports fan in general, is, how do I say, it's like paying for student loans, but going into student loans. It's like putting a rope around your neck and just being happy about it not getting tighter. I know it's a crazy statement to say, but it's just slow and painful to watch any Arizona sports team play. Probably the dumbest thing you can do. I know being a Jets fan, because I have a little brother who's a Jets fan, is a bad thing too, but at least you guys know you guys are shit. Like, at least you guys accepted that your team's terrible, but like, You know, like you don't expect too much from them. This team, they'll bring your hopes up as high as it possibly can be. Like one time we were 6-4, I think, leading the division about 2 games ahead, and I was thinking we're gonna go into the playoffs easily. Easily. And boy how I was wrong. We lose 3 games in a row. 2 divisional games, which were huge, to the same team. And the one game was worse than the other. It's just... I'm broken, ladies and gentlemen. This team has officially broke me. This team forced me to make a YouTube channel talking shit about this team, just so I can vent to somebody rather than hold it in and do something stupid. It's a game. I know it's football, but at least I'm not like one of those hooligans just breaking shit in England, you know?
Build it up with sticks and stones, sticks and stones, sticks and stones, build it.
I know I'm rambling. I don't even want to look at the stats right now. Just know it was a great game by James Conner, cut short by injury. You got to get past that. Everybody's hurt. Everybody gets hurt in the league, and just the way we went out, it just hurts. I know we could have sat down and just got pounded, like how they say keep pounding. They could have kept pounding us and destroyed us for this whole game, but just to know the fact that you were this close to keeping your season alive and you shit the bed. They just quit on that last drive, the defense. And kind of the offense too. Kyler, you know, that's the one thing. I love Kyler. When he does that shit, when he slides, when he gets sacked, when he just goes down, it makes me not want to be a Kyler fan. You know, it just makes him look like a pussy. And I know it's for me to talk, you know, just some bullshit Cardinal fan, but you get what I mean. He's getting paid almost $250 million to play quarterback. Show a little grit, man. You know, just, you know, on that 4th down, on that one drive, on the last drive for us, where we went for it with Michael Carter, the play before, he could have theoretically dove for that. And we wouldn't even be in that situation for a 4th down. But, you know, we still got the first. And the play after, Trey McBride, I love watching some Trey McBride play. Just go upfield a little bit, and you would have got that holding call. That's what I'm saying. You know, as shitty as the rest would have been, they called some terrible play fouls. If Trey McBride sells that play a little more, we might be talking about a different outcome. I know it's crazy to say we're by the 20-yard line, but we only needed a fucking field goal. And one thing goes after another. One shit ball thrown from Kyler. And then one of the worst sacks. I mean, one of the most horrible sacks I've seen on an overtime game. He lets that happen. I mean, I know it was a blitz. And there's only 1 or 2 things that happens whenever Kyler rolls out. He either... Oh, well, there's 3 things. He either throws a shit pick, which you saw, or a couple weeks ago you saw against the Seahawks. He makes a spectacular play. Or he crumbles and falls because he doesn't want to get hit. I know he's small, but you don't know how much longer you're going to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, seasons can get cut short out of nowhere. You saw Tank Dell yesterday. Prayers out for him. But why not just let it out? Let it all out on the line, you know? Especially in a playoff game, which was a playoff game. With whether you like it or not, it was a playoff game. And yeah, you saw what happened. But, you know, it can be a Debbie Downer all video. I'm still going to watch this team next year. I'm still going to No, I'm not gonna buy their stuff right now. I'm gonna hold on for that, not waste any damn money. But I'll still be a Cardinals fan. I know I made a joke earlier to my dad that I'm gonna say fuck this and be a Lions fan. I'm close to that point, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm a real loyal fan, and I'm just sad. I'm just sad. And you lose to the Panthers. You lose your playoff contention to the fucking Panthers. I mean, that just gets me riled up, you know? Yeah, I don't know. It's just there's more to life than football. There's more to life than sports. But when you're born into something like this, you know it's more than that. It's pride, it's grit, it's for the love of the game and just being able to watch more of it when you get to the playoffs. They just kicked themselves out, really. And, you know, the talk of the offseason is going to be, what do you do with Kyler? I have this scheme where I had it before with Rosen and shit, but you let him play this another year, and if all else fails, like for the first 4 weeks, you bench him. I know it's crazy. You bench for Clayton Tune because you know Clayton Tune's not going to win you nothing, and you tank for Arch Manning. That's what I'll do. If you give him 4 weeks of next year to kind of prove himself, I know it's crazy for a 7th-year quarterback to try to prove himself, but Jordan did win a finals, his first finals in his 7th year. I'm gonna let that sit. I'm not saying we're gonna win the Super Bowl, but we have to at least make the playoffs if Kyler's gonna be the quarterback for our future. He's a little man, super athletically gifted, makes some dumbass decisions, and he's our quarterback. Sure, Drew Petzing, that ball motherfucker, can be better with his play call, but at the end of the day, you got to execute. And that's my plan. If next year we still see the same kind of bullshit antics from Kyler, where he's pouting on the sideline, making some horrendous decisions in the game, or just not winning. You know, you get paid to win the game.
You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it.
Herm Edwards said. You don't play to barely lose by 6 to the Panthers. You know what I mean? You don't play to get kicked out of the playoffs by the Panthers. By the fucking Panthers. But I'll leave it at this. Audition for the quarterback of our future. And if all else fails, you tank for Arch Manning. I'm at this point. I was the biggest Kyler Murray supporter ever since he got drafted. My dad keeps messing with me. My family members keep messing with me. My friends keep messing with me for putting this much faith into Kyler. Because as a shorter gentleman myself, you love seeing shorter dudes shine in athletic events like professional football, which never happens besides Russell Wilson. And you saw what happened this weekend. Yeah, it's not looking really good for us. And, you know, it just comes to a point in time where sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's like sometimes relationships, they just don't work out. And it's trending in that direction that it's not working out with Kyler really badly right now. But like I said, you let him finish out this year. I mean, it's 3 games. But you let him finish it out. Audition him for 4 more weeks into the next year. And if he's not winning, having a winning record within those 4 weeks, I sit him. I know it's crazy. I sit him. say he has some kind of injury, trade him, and just tank for Arch. I mean, the Manning and Harrison connection obviously worked more than 20 years ago. So why should it now? Why should it not now? And that's where I'm at right now. So with that, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for being in my rant, in my whining session. I know I wasn't too analytical today. This is my new YouTube channel, or my first one. You're going to be expecting more content like this, talking shit about my favorite team, and just talk about sports in general. I know the playoffs for college are on, all shit games. Besides my friends who are Ohio State fans, good game for them. But with that being said, thanks for watching. He says thanks for watching. And unfortunately, the Cardinals out of the playoffs. But life moves on. And yeah, life moves on. Expect more videos to come. And yeah, fuck the Cardinals.
Ray Lewis, baby.
Are you okay?